What's up guys, it's Aaronitmar, and today is a very special day because today's the day that I'm gonna make probably a lot of you mad. Smash director Masahiro Sakurai has continually mentioned that the number of characters included in Smash Ultimate is likely never to be matched, even by a future Smash Bros. Game, capping out at nearly 90 once all of the DLC is said and done. So with that idea being continually brought up, it's made many people, including myself, look forward to the next Smash game with the mindset of it being an almost soft reboot of the series. Not necessarily starting entirely from scratch, but reducing the roster down to a significantly smaller number and almost trimming the fat of the Smash series. And so in this video, that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're going to look at the 80 odd characters currently in Smash's history and cut the roster down. Now, an idea like this by nature means that my bias is going to show in this video. I have a certain attachment to characters that others don't, and vice versa. So that means that I would love to hear your personal roster cuts down in the comments below, and I'd love to see some discussion and just read about your thoughts. So with that, let's start. First and foremost, I think that the first 12 Smash characters must return. They're the only characters to be in every single Smash game, and at this point, even in a game where we are significantly cutting the roster, it just wouldn't feel like Smash without these 12. I know that at some point, some of the characters were planned to be cut, like Ness in Melee or Jigglypuff in Brawl, but at this point, their legacy has made it so a lot of people would be disappointed if they were removed. Now with that said, I would love for this smaller roster to give the development team the opportunity to revisit some of these characters. Of the original 12, I think maybe Link and Mario are the only ones that have had relatively significant changes made to their moveset. But even then, the core of it is still mostly the same. I'd be really interested to see a total rework of some of these characters. I mean, compare some of the efforts that are put into the DLC characters and then look at the original 12. It feels like night and day. I mean, you can almost tell that these first characters were the first ever Smash characters based on their movesets alone. Now, I wouldn't want complete changes in some cases. For example, Captain Falcon would simply not be the same without Falcon Punch. But I just like to see some new variation for these characters. We've had these movesets for 2 decades. It would be cool to see some new stuff. Next, the first cut we're going to make is also the easiest. I want to remove the Echo Fighters and Semi-Clones. These are your Dark Pits, your Dark Samuses, and then characters like Toon Link or Pichu or Dr. Mario. Frankly, this is really a zero-sum loss in my onion. You're losing the character representation, but you aren't exactly losing out on the moveset in most of these cases, as their original fighters are still staying. A potential inclusion of these fighters could still be a thing, but I'll talk about that briefly in a bit. But the easiest way to trim down the roster, first and foremost, is of course just scrapping Echo Fighters. After that, I kind of wanted to keep a balance between the newcomers from all of the different Smash games, while also reducing based on series representation. This kind of made it a more difficult task, but I think it worked out well in the end. I didn't want to show any bias towards one specific Smash game or one specific series, so I think I did a decent job. So first is the Mario series. Now for this, I kept Peach and Bowser along with Mario and Luigi already staying, which means that I scrapped Bowser Jr., Rosalina, and Piranha Plant. These 4 feel like the core Mario reps. I think that honestly, if we only had them, it would be alright. The others just feel like more secondary characters, and while they're definitely cool in Ultimate, if we're trimming characters, they would absolutely be the first to go. But you know what we shouldn't trim? My sub count. Please be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Please help me get to 250,000 subs. It's definitely in our sights. And please just help support my Mii Fighter skin addiction. I mean, I've already bought 5 Sans costumes. I don't even own that many number of games. Please just help. Okay, but anyway, with the same method as the Mario cast, the Zelda characters have also been trimmed down, and these are exclusively the 3 Triforce reps. It's pretty easy to clear out Toon Link and Young Link as they are semi-clones, and that would leave us with just 1 Link. The most potentially controversial cut here is Sheik. Now, I love Sheik in Smash, but Again, I just feel like Link, Zelda, and Ganondorf are the core characters. Sheik was always brought along with Zelda, but now that they're pulling different designs for the different characters, Sheik doesn't even have that connection. Again, I love Sheik, but I just think we would pull her first. I mean, we haven't even seen her in a game since Ocarina of Time. It just feels like she is the least relevant of all the characters that are left. Now let's be a proper Pokemon trainer and put some of these Pokemon in boxes. Pikachu and Puff obviously stay, and Mewtwo remains for Melee. Representing Brawl is Pokemon Trainer because that is my absolute favorite Pokemon rep. The 3-in-1 moveset is just unbelievably fun and creative, and I just love it. But I also threw in Incineroar as well. I love the idea of Incineroar's, moveset concept, using its archetype as a wrestler to be the basis for the moveset, rather than strictly pulling from a couple random moves that it can use in the core Pokemon games. Conceptually, Incineroar is definitely my favorite moveset for a Pokemon, so I would love to see him return. Now it's time for Fire Emblem. So with Echo Fighters gone, we get rid of the father and daughter right away. And I also want to scrap Corrin and Byleth. Now it's not that I hate them, I just don't know. I don't love Corrin, and I'm all right with Byleth, I guess, but they're definitely lower on the list, so they're one of the earlier ones to go. So who I want to stay is Marth and Roy, the OG boys. That's definitely some of my bias showing, but they were the first ones. I would love to see them stay. And then we'll keep the third Fire Emblem rep from Brawl, Ike. After that, I wanted Robin to stay, because I think that they are a pretty unique Fire Emblem rep that I also don't really have mixed feelings about. I think if I kept one more character, it would have been Byleth, and Corrin would only come back if I absolutely had no choice. But I think this is a fair number of Fire Emblem reps, but, I can see some of the other character stands also getting pissed. Now for a minor archetype, the weirdo retro character that you wouldn't expect to be added to Smash archetype. I think those characters are Ice Climbers, Game & Watch, Rob, and Duck Hunt, and of them, I think that Duck Hunt is the one I would cut. But that one, again, is just my personal opinion. I think all of these characters would be equally likely to be cut because they're their own weird, niche, kind of strange type of character that are put in the game. And I mean, Ice Climbers already were cut. So frankly, while I would want Icy's, Game & Watch, and Rob to all stay, I wouldn't be surprised at all if in the actual next game, any of these were cut. Duck Hunt is just, again, my personal opinion. Next, let's tackle the other, less represented Nintendo franchises. As a general rule, I really like when a franchise has both a protagonist and an antagonist represented in Smash, so we will be following that for the most part. The Donkey Kong series will keep all three characters. I love King K. Rool as a character, and I was ecstatic that he was joining Smash, so it would feel weird to no longer have the boss from that series. And it would equally feel weird to not have both Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong in the game, so they're all three staying. Also, speaking of slightly Mario-related characters, Wario also stays, that's easy clap to decide. But ironically, the next two are going to have some cuts. First is Metroid, who already lost Dark Samus in the Echo Fighter cut, but Metroid will also keep only Samus and Ridley, but get rid of Zero Suit. I was honestly torn about removing Zero Suit, but if I have to remove a rep from the Metroid series, then she's gotta be the one to go. Similarly with Star Fox, Fox and Falco both have to stay just because they are Smash mainstays at this point, but Wolf always feels like a coin toss to me. I mean, being scrapped from Smash 4 before returning in Ultimate, his Smash history has just been rocky, especially because he was one of the last characters to even be made for Brawl in the first place. So I feel like if someone is getting cut, it's gonna be Wolf. And I know this breaks my villains rule, but I just felt like someone from Star Fox had to go. Kirby keeps all three. Honestly, I couldn't pick who to get rid of. They both seem so iconic, and I just couldn't decide between Meta Knight and DDD, so I kept them both. We'll also keep Pit and Palutena as well. We got rid of Dark Pit, but I'm okay with the other two staying. I like how they're kind of both simultaneously retro and modern reps at the same time. And briefly, I'm gonna go ahead and scrap Lucas. I'll only let him come back if they ever localize Mother 3. Now to round off the first party reps, most of the more modern Nintendo properties are going to be staying. Shulk, Inkling, and Min Min will all probably stay as first-party reps that represent whole franchises on their own, as well as more recent Nintendo games. I think I'll keep Villager as well, but remove Isabelle. No particular reason there, I just think personally I prefer Villager, so that's who I wanted to stay. Now the reps I removed who would fit into this category were Wii Fit Trainer, Little Mac, and Olimar. I've always had a really bad relationship with Little Mac as a Smash fighter. Olimar, I feel, is just meh overall. And Wii Fit, that one's just a gut feeling. Oh, and we'll also keep the Miis. Now with that, I think I've covered all of the first-party representatives for the game, so now it's time for some fun, the third-party reps. So first, let's talk about who I'm keeping. Cloud and Hero both feel like such iconic inclusions that I'd be very sad to see either of them go. Cloud has been a gaming icon for 2 decades, and Hero is so notable for Smash because of his command selection move. Now, is it likely that we'd see 2 Square Enix reps return? Maybe not. But do I care? Not really. Sonic, Mega Man, and Pac-Man are all great, so I'd love them to return as well. They just feel right in Smash. Sonic especially, he is basically seems like a second-party Nintendo rep at this point. As for the Castlevania rep, I'm alright with either. I know I said all Echo Fighters are removed, but I honestly don't consider Richter an Echo Fighter in the same way as the others, especially since moveset-wise, Simon and Richter both borrow from each other's games. So while I have Simon technically staying, I would be totally cool with Richter staying instead of Simon. As long as one of them stays, I'm okay with it, because Castlevania and Smash is just, it just feels too important. And last, but certainly not least, because they are my favorites, Banjo and Kazooie. 100% they stay. I mean, come on, did you expect anything else? So, who does that mean I removed? Well, first, the Shotos, Ryu, Ken, and Terry. This isn't a specific attack on these characters, I very much enjoy all 3 of them in Smash. I would just be curious if the Smash team would want them to be in a game that's considered a soft reboot, what with their movesets being so wildly unique and having, actual command inputs. So to be safe, I just said that they probably won't return, but in the real world, I'd probably be glad to be wrong. Next is Bayonetta, and man, I had a hard time with this one. Part of me really does want to see her return, but I also really questioned the pretense on which she was originally added to Smash. I just feel like she wasn't really as popular as Nintendo said she was for her to be added. Now, I don't mind her necessarily, but if I'm picking the roster, then she's out of here. Snake I also don't really see coming back. There's just something about why he was removed for Smash 4 in the first place. He was one of the few that was removed that really didn't have any clear rhyme or reason. He was brought back for Ultimate, but I'd be willing to guess that it's more because they wanted everyone to return, not because they wanted Snake to return. So if they aren't going for the everyone is here shtick, I don't know, it just feels like he's probably going to be lower on the list. And lastly is Joker, another one who I personally had a hard time picking. This one really felt like a passion pick from Sakurai. He was just such a new character by comparison to nearly everyone else. I just don't know that I see him returning to a trimmed down roster. He just feels too niche. And I think that's everyone. I wouldn't be surprised if I missed somebody, but I think I got most of the characters. So with that, here is my finalized Smash 6 roster based purely on returning characters. This cuts Ultimate's final roster down to about half of its size, which I think is a fair trimming down. But that doesn't necessarily mean I think all of the characters would be totally removed. They could easily do what they did in Smash 4, where cut characters return as DLC, and in fact, I'd love it if they did that while also revisiting their movesets. Imagine Lucina returns as DLC, but instead of being a complete Echo Fighter of Marth, they give her an all-new moveset, completely unique to her. I would love if this was the play for what they did for Smash 6. It would excite people to see who's returning while also keeping them excited for what their all-new moveset could be. And none of this is even including the fact that the next Smash game will definitely have all new, completely never been in Smash before representatives. I mean, this video was entirely just based on who currently exists in Smash, and there are still 5 characters that we haven't seen yet. So that's my cut roster, those are my picks. Feel free to be mad at me now.
というところだと思います。